Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Good morning. Let's sing together. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
Good morning. Welcome to Sunday service at Everett Unity. Let's start our time together today with a reading from the Daily Word. Sunday, January 18th. In 1964, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King said, "It's not enough to say we must not wage war. It's necessary to love peace and sacrifice for it. We must concentrate not merely on the negative expulsion of war, but the positive affirmation of peace. Of course, we will work toward creating the kind of world we wish to see, investing our energy and efforts to ending conflict, discrimination, and other kinds of negativity. But we also put our energy into creating harmony, cooperation, opportunity, and other positive outcomes. Today, we affirm that peace is dawning all over the world, blessing all people with warm feelings of cooperation and togetherness. We affirm peace is here, even as we strive to create it." The scripture today from 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 23. "May the God of peace himself sanctify you entirely, and may your spirit and soul and body be kept sound." The opening statement is in your bulletin. I'll read it and then we'll read it together. "As I affirm peace, I help create a peaceful world." Reminder that when we say things like this, don't just read the words on the page. Think about what we're saying. Let's say this together. As I affirm peace, I help create a peaceful world. All right, we're going to sing together. Josh is going to lead us in our opening song, song number 12 in your Melodies from the Heart songbook. Find that and stand as you are able so we can sing together.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I so grateful. I am so blessed. Now we say, we are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful for all that we have. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful. We are so blessed.
Thank you, Josh. It's great to share this platform with these two musicians. Well, good morning. Welcome again to Sunday service. It is the middle of January already. Woohoo! Hang on. I'd like to introduce you to the people who are serving you today. You were greeted by our ushers, Pam and Skeet. Our social hour is being hosted by the Van Dyke family, Cara and Corey and Robin. Our audio, yeah, it is a nice spread. Thank you for the little commercial. Yeah, if you don't stay for social hour today, you're going to be sorry. One thing I've learned all these years, Everett Unity likes to eat. You are able to hear us and see us thanks to our audio video team. Josh and Terry are providing that support for us this morning. Of course, you've already heard our musicians, Terry and Josh, who is doing double duty, along with our guest musicians, Heart Dream, in the back row right there. They're going to do solos for us here. So welcome back. We're glad to have you here. My name is Cindy. For those of you who might not know me, I see a couple of newer faces in our audience today. And of course, Rick Wilson is here with us this morning. Rick Wilson and his wife, Lori, have been members of our church for several years. Rick has a special announcement today. I probably shouldn't say it because I'm going to give your talk away. A little bird has it that Rick Wilson might be retired. Did you notice that he looks much more relaxed today than he normally is? Congratulations. He wore his Hawaii shirt because he will be on perpetual vacation from this point forward. And of course, because we have some newer faces, I'd like to just say that we do not have a permanent minister here at Everett Unity, so we are blessed with a series of speakers. We have several ministers who come. We have a couple of our congregants like Rick and a couple of other people who I don't see quickly who will come on some Sunday mornings with a special message to share. We find here that we really like the variety. We believe wholeheartedly that our spiritual development is created in community with each other. We gather together as with the reason to listen to our speaker, but really we learn and grow from spending time with each other. So I thank you for being here this morning, Rick, and we look forward to hearing what he has to share with us from his much retired, relaxed brain. I would like to remind you, if you brought your cell phone in, to please turn that off, because Rick is going to lead us through a meditation here shortly. And if you're interested, on the way out, the ushers can give you a little packet of information describing Unity. There's a new newsletter in there, and you can learn a little bit about our community and the Unity movement in general. I do have just a couple of announcements I'd like to remind you. If you have not yet renewed your membership, if you are currently a member, please do that. I have to have a current roster of members before our annual membership meeting, which is on Sunday, February 8th. So if you are a member and want to renew, please let me know. You can fill out the blue form in the hallway back there or downstairs. You can email me. You can tell me this morning at social hour when you're downstairs drinking coffee. Just let me know you want to stay on the list. And if you are newer to Everett Unity and would like to become a member, there are membership applications there right in the foyer by the at the top of the stairs, and then by the exit door downstairs. So if you'd like to fill out an application, I encourage you to do that as well. Okay, well, let's sing together again. We're going to sing from that same songbook, Melodies from the Heart, song number 13. When you find that, stand as you are able, and we'll sing together again.
There is only God. There is only God. Through the joy and pain, through the pouring rain, there is only God. There is only God. There is only God. All other is illusion. There is only God. One more time. There is only God. There is only God. Through the joy and pain, through the pouring rain, there is only God. There is only God. There is only God. All other is illusion. There is only God. You guys lead me too. That was my first time with that one. Thank you.
All right, let's settle in now and get ready for meditation.
Okay, you have me unmuted there?
Okay. There we go. I have a loud voice, I can always just yell, so. Well, so we're doing meditation here. I'm already ready to get into my talk, but really we do need to do a meditation first. Let's kind of get ourselves settled down a little bit. So everyone, I want you to get comfortable. I want you to get relaxed, feet on the floor. Put your hands wherever they're as relaxed as possible. Maybe close your eyes gently and start by focusing on your breathing. Feel your breathing. Go in, go out. In and out. If you feel tension, let it relax. Let your breathing go natural, relaxed. In, out. In, out. The world dissolves around you. The world doesn't exist, just you breathing in and out. In and out. Now feel deep inside you. There's something warm in there. Let yourself feel that warmth deep inside you. Everything else is gone, just that warmth. And that warmth wants to go everywhere. Feel it. Feel it going out. Feel it going out throughout your body. That warmth. Your arms. Your legs. All the way up to the top of your head. Warmth. Gently flowing. know that warmth is love. Every one of you has it in you. And this time we can just feel it. Nothing else exists. Just love. Flowing through your body is warmth. And now it doesn't stop. It flows out from your body. Feel it flowing out. Every direction. Flows out, up, down. Flows out from your body. Feel it. Feel it starting to connect with something. Feeling other warmth. Now outside of your body. Feel it connecting. Warmth. Love. Just take some time now and just feel it. Now as we start to wrap up that, come back to yourself. Feel your breathing again. But at the same time, that warmth is still with you. It's never left. You feel your breathing in, out, in, out. And as you come back, you realize you are sitting here. Sitting in your pew. You can open your eyes gently now, feeling that warmth still with you as you finish the meditation.
infinite wings of peace. Love overflowing, dreams unveiled. We are connected to one heart. We are dancing in the light. With new wings, we take flight. We are dancing to be free. To be free. Gently God plays the strings of our hearts. Every voice sings one name. Footsteps of devotion awaken our soul in the light of God. We all know we are dancing in the light. With new wings, we take flight. We are dancing to be free. To be free. We are dancing, we are dancing. We are dancing, we are dancing in the light of God. We all know we are dancing, we are free. We are
Thank you. Dancing to be free. What a great phrase. I think I can work that in on page 4 because it's just a wonderful phrase. Dancing to be free. Think about it. Well, before I started, I was going to have a little announcement, which Cindy already caught for you. Cindy always keeps me on my toes. So yes, as of 2 days ago, I am a retired man. So I figured I'd celebrate. This is my retired man outfit, and I would like to particularly thank Walter and Skeet and Steve, who've been over the last few weeks my retired man fashion guide. So thank you very much. So this week I'm going to talk almost a continuation, you might say, of Dina's talk last week, because I'm also talking about the fifth principle. And so before I get into it, I suppose the first thing I should do is read off what is the fifth principle, at least for those of you who are, yes. Am I not on? You want me to go to the podium? Probably better. Okay. I might walk away, warning. Okie dokie. How's that? Okay. The sound of my voice. So at any rate, the fifth principle. Like I say, for any of you who weren't taking notes last week, this is what the fifth principle states, at least one of the wordings of it. It says, it is not enough to understand spiritual teachings. We must apply our learning in all areas of life, incorporating them into our thoughts, words, and actions. Okay? I'm going to read it again because, I mean, everything springs from this, because a lot of people, in fact, the interesting thing about the fifth principle is that of all the principles of unity, this is the one that people have vastly different interpretations. They have vastly different takes on. And so I picked this wording because I think it most centrally identifies what the fifth principle is. So I'll say it again. It is not enough to understand spiritual teachings. We must apply our learning in all areas of life, incorporating them into our thoughts, words, and action. So, what is that about? Well, thoughts, words, and actions. Thoughts, words, and action. That kind of leaves a lot of room in there, doesn't it? And I think for some people, they look at the thoughts and words part and they say, well, it just means we need to put the other four principles into the very way we think and the very way we speak. And that's kind of really just what it's all about, going through our life living those principles. But that really isn't what it's about. And the key word is the one at the end, actions. That's the real differentiator here. And I wanted to talk about that for a number of reasons. First of all, understand that this is actually one of the things we have in a way common with all other theologies. I thought this was one of the most interesting, because when I came here, there was things that we taught here at Unity that I guarantee weren't taught at other churches. And yet, interesting enough, every church I've ever been, every theology I've looked at, talks about something in the way of action. Volunteering, service, giving of your time, different words, but every church I've ever had has that element in it. And the danger with that is that a lot of churches just kind of go with you got to do it without kind of explaining why. And I've seen, and I think this is one of the other reasons I wanted to speak about it, because I've seen a lot of bad things come from this. And I've seen churches, well, first of all, understand that conservative churches, the way they start out is they say, well, why do you have to serve? Well, the answer is because God demands it. God commands you to serve, and, God's not going to be happy if you don't serve, right? So it's part of being obedient to God. That was the way it was presented in the first church I went to. And right off the bat, if you start thinking of Unity's teachings, you realize that doesn't work. Because what they're saying is it's conditional. God's happiness was conditional. It's not automatic. You got to do what he wants or he's not going to be happy with you. Well, I'll tell you, Unity teaches you, and I hope you all understand by now, God is happy with you. You are loved. You are valued. It's not a requirement of service. You don't have to do anything to earn it. It's automatic. And I say that up here, and I emphasize that up here, but you hear that every week. And I hope it's really sunk in inside. And so you can see the fallacy of that right away. Okay? So that's not a good reason to volunteer. Okay? So, but let's talk about some of the more liberal churches still have the volunteer thing, and some of them still put a lot of pressure on you, because you got to understand, a church, I was trying to stay in front of the mic, really, Josh, as best I can. But you gotta understand that the church is run on volunteers. A lot of what happens here at Unity is volunteer work. Okay? Well, that's really what makes Unity Unity. All that you do. There's nothing separate, magical outside of you. It's all of what you do. And churches can get kind of caught up on that, because then they can come back and go, well, since we are volunteers, you're going to have to do something. If you want to be part of this church, you're going to have to do something. You got to contribute. I actually went to a website of one church of a friend because I was just curious what that church was all about. And it actually said right on the website, it says, now, when you choose to be a member of this church, you'll meet with a committee and we'll decide where you're going to serve. Whoa, that's pretty heavy. But I want to make it clear again, that's not unity, okay? That's not unity. We do not demand service, volunteering. I need you to let go of that because, again, they're not necessarily playing the God card on you, but it's still a guilt trip, isn't it? You still over, oh yeah, I'm not serving, so hope nobody notices. And that's really important. And in fact, I'll bet you the moment I said volunteering, for some of you, especially if you've had experiences at other churches, did the shields go up? Right? Yeah, here comes the lecture, you're going to get it. No, unity doesn't have any requirement for volunteering, okay? So if guilt is what's driving you, let it go. That's the first thing I wanted to get across. But wait, there's still the fifth principle. It sounds like I just told you that it doesn't count. Just go with the first four, you're good. But it's there, and it's there for a reason. It's one of unity's principles. It's a core part of unity, just like it is others. So if I've just disproved all the other reasons, why? Why is it there? And that's the first thing I want to try to explain today, because so many churches I've been at, they never really explain it beyond the you got to do it stuff. And the way I'm going to try to explain it to you is I'm going to start with the concept of love and fear. Love and fear. They're opposites, okay? Now, some people will tell you something else is the opposite of love, maybe hate or something like that. But the reality is fear is the opposite of love. And the way to understand that is to think about it. What does fear make you want to do? It makes you want to disconnect, step away from everything but the mic. But, right? It disconnect, and close off, right? It wants you to, that's what fear makes you want to do. If you live a life of fear, that's what you're doing. You're closing off from everything. Love makes you want to open up. It makes you want to reach out. It makes you want to connect. That's what love does. So this is one of the facets of our life. And again, another thing that unity teaches here is to help let go of a fear-based life, which is very common for most of us, particularly early in life. We develop a lot of fears. And I talked last time about our ego. It's a real culprit here, right? It's always telling you, oh, be afraid of that. Don't try this because you might fail and look crappy, and no, okay? You want to let go of that. Let go of your fear-based life. And as you learn to let go of it, and as you learn to embrace all the things that unity teaches you from week to week, fear dissolves. And it fills up with love. And that's what happens. You start feeling, like the meditation, you feel warm inside. You feel it filling you. You feel it making you want to open up. And love makes you want to reach out and connect. Okay? So now that you get into, okay, but it's kind of a primal feeling that doesn't give you a lot of guidance. So how do I reach out and connect? Well, certainly thoughts and words are ways you reach out and connect, just in communicating, in interacting with everybody. But the real opportunity and why it's part of unity is because it's trying to explain that if you've got that in you, it's the next step. How do you connect? How do you reach out? And the answer is volunteering. It's service. It's doing something about it. Not because you have to, but because it's a way to extend, to be the next part, to enrich your own life. That's the why of volunteering. Now, that's just the first step. Because, boy, I went through a page of notes without even looking. I'm sorry. You're never supposed to mention, all the stuff going on up here, but it really is, I'm still getting used to this. So, I wanted to get more into it because, again, a lot of churches, they don't get past that. You got to volunteer and good luck, goodbye. And it comes a bad thing. In fact, I like to say, what really bothered me about it is I've watched people at other churches, especially when they were guilted into it, they volunteered for something because it's the first volunteer opportunity, and, well, they were supposed to volunteer, so they jumped in and said, okay, I'll do it. And it wasn't really a good fit for them, and they didn't see what it was that made volunteering such a good thing. It became a chore. It really became, church became a bad thing. It's like, I got to go to church and do the darn church. But you couldn't quit because if you were supposed to do it, you'd look bad if you didn't. What would the congregation think? And I've seen people that have gotten to the point they've left the church. Isn't that sad to think a church actually drove them away? But they left the church because it's the only way they could get out of that volunteer opportunity that they probably shouldn't have taken in the first place. And so I think when you want to get to a point where you want to connect, you want to do stuff, it's just as important to think about what it is you want to do. Okay? Because you're doing it for yourself again. I want to keep emphasizing that. You're volunteering for yourself. And I thought the best way that start explaining some of the possibilities and why it makes a difference. I'm going to start with two of the volunteer opportunities that you hear a lot in church, because we all know what I'm going to be talking about here. Let's start talking about ushering. Okay, you hear that all the time. We could use more ushers. Okay, ushering is a volunteer opportunity. Now, what does an usher do? Okay, well, greets people, a hands out program, I suppose gives you a hug if you want a hug. Well, I'll tell you, if that's all you think ushering is, ushering probably isn't for you. Okay? Ushering's not for you. But if you really connect on how you're truly making people welcome, saying with your actions, you're welcome here at Unity. And if it's that first-time visitor, maybe he's coming from a point of darkness who really isn't sure they're supposed to even be coming through that door and they're ready to bolt, that couple of minutes you took with them to make them feel at home, to make a difference, to let them come in, to let them sit and start feeling and learning about the love Unity has that's in them, the value they have. And you realize as an usher, you're making a difference in people's lives. Okay? If that's what ushering is to you, you might want to consider that as a volunteer opportunity. Okay? Now, I've got one more example. Social hour, because that's the other one, right? Social hour, we're always asking for people for social hour. When you're done ushering, could you run downstairs, kind of thing. And so what does the social hour host do? Well, they just put out some food and pour some beverages, coffee, lots of decaf, please. That's my request. But again, if that's what social hour is to you, then maybe social hour isn't really the volunteer opportunity you want to take. Okay? But if you can see how by putting out a little something for a snack and something to drink, and it gets people down there, and you step back and you see them all sitting around the table, and these are people that, some of us are going through tough things. We may be going through physical issues or pain or financial or all kinds of other things we might be going through. But in that hour, by setting up those tables of food, they can be down there and they can be connecting and they can feel the love of everybody in the room. In fact, that room, after a while, it just gets so you can just feel the room filling with love and joy. And everybody gets to experience it. And they get to experience it because of you. And if that's what you feel when you're a social hour host, maybe that's something for you. Okay? You starting to get the idea? By the way, I have to digress for a minute as I wrote this. Social hours, it seems to be kind of becoming one of the church words, you know. Unity always hates standard church words, you know, because you immediately have some feeling of what it is. And even when we say social hour, well, all of those who've been coming for a long time, oh yeah, social hour, we know what that is. But it doesn't really capture what's going on. And I thought, you know, wouldn't it be better to say, after service, come down and experience social hour? Maybe a better thing to say would be come downstairs after service and experience the room of joy. Wouldn't that be better? Yeah, happy hour, yeah. That works. Works for me. In fact, I think Corey's already going, I better make another pot of coffee, you know. Yeah, okay, I just mentioned those two positions because, you know, like I say, everybody here knows what I'm talking about. But this goes on and on and on, and I want to just quickly touch on some others. I don't want to spend a lot of time. I think Dina last week talked about some of the ways of serving and started to get the idea across about the many ways you can serve. But thinking about one of the things that when Cindy announces, you know, who's serving this week, she'll always say, I'd like to talk about the people most visibly serving, which I don't think you said this week, actually, just another curve at me, but. But I always love that phrase, most visibly serving, because it correctly helps you understand that just because you made the list, because you're the visible ones, doesn't mean that's the only volunteer opportunities. Everything you do that contributes in any way to helping us run this church, that's a volunteer opportunity. That counts. It might be a one-time thing. You saw the garbage or a spill somewhere, and you just took a minute on your own to pick it up. That's volunteering. That's service. Okay. You made something at home, and you said, "Oh wow, this would be good for social hour." Oh, excuse me, room of joy. Okay. This would be really good, and you bring it and you add it to the table. That counts. Okay. That counts. It may be something you just do once in a while. Maybe come in, you help on a committee, or you know, you help Cindy with something. Cindy does a million things, and how many times there are things that she doesn't do for the simple reason she has a limit. You can only do so much, and volunteering is another way to extend other people to do things that maybe they can't get to. So I want you to think all those things are volunteer opportunities. But I'm not done there, because I'm just talking about within the church. And I really didn't want to make this just an ad for volunteering in the church. Although, as much as if someone wants to do something because of my talk, I'll be thrilled. But I want you to understand, volunteering is for you. Again, it's wherever it may be. There's plenty of social services in the area. Some of you here actually work or contribute in some way, contribute your time or in something else. And you contribute to those social services. That's volunteering. That counts. Okay. In fact, I think a good, healthy church needs to stay connected with those social services and help people make that connection. If that's where you want to serve, if that's where you feel the need, if that's where you feel the love, that's where you want to volunteer in one of those services. And finally, I want to say volunteering doesn't have to have a title. Okay. Volunteering is, you see the neighbor's lawn, they haven't been able to mow the lawn, they've been ill, and you go and mow their lawn. That counts. That counts. You drive someone somewhere because they can't drive on their own, or they need to get to the doctor or the store. That counts. That's volunteering. It's all good if that's where you feel the love, if that's where you feel the connection. So this could have been the longest section in my talk, but I knew I had to stop somewhere again. I hope by now you get the idea of that where you volunteer can be just as important to you. And I want you to think about wherever you might choose to volunteer, wherever you might choose to get involved, that you do it for you, for where you feel that love and connection. That's so critical. Now, I've also built up another thing, because I've been involved, last church I was even involved in a committee that I look back on and say, boy, that was a mistake, because we tried to help people get connected, understand what their skills were so that they could get connected. I thought I was doing a good thing, but some of my talk came out of some of my experiences of, well, that's not the way to do it. And this is another thing, again, churches don't talk about this, but how do you volunteer? Now, I'm going to explain it this way. Imagine that you've gone to a lake to go swimming, maybe just a swimming pool. Okay, for some of you, the way you go about it is just run on in, cannonball, and you just dive right in, right? That's the way you approach it. But if you're like me, you don't want to go. You want to try it slowly and easily, okay? Now, I'm going to mess with Josh here because I'm not going to stay in front of the podium. Imagine there's a pool over here. What do? I just stick my toe in. Is that? Yeah, not so bad. Okay, maybe I'll go in a little bit more. Oh, yeah, let's see. Ooh, yeah. Oh. Okay, not wrong. Ooh, no, yeah, maybe it's okay. Okay, I'm going to go in a little farther. Oh, yeah, this is good. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I should have tried this long ago. Oh, beautiful. Oh. I can't wait to see what that looks like on the recording. That was refreshing. So why did I give that example? Because it dries fast. So at any rate, I wanted to give that example because I call that toe dipping. Toe dipping. And that applies to volunteering. You don't have to cannonball when it comes to volunteering. You don't have to say, okay, put me down. I'm on the hook. I'll figure it out first time I come. Maybe you get a little training, but that's what you're, in your mind at least, you're on your own. So toe dipping, what does that mean? Well, if you're thinking about something and you're not sure, you're like me, because I'll admit, especially my early days of going to church, I did a lot of toe dipping. And the first thing you do, maybe just talk to someone about it. You're not agreeing to anything. What's involved, and is this okay or is that okay? And this is what I can do and this is what I can't. And, is that going to be okay? Maybe when you really learn what the duty's about, you go, oh, I don't know. So toe dipping, start with just something simple like that. For some of the volunteer opportunities, maybe say, look, I'll just kind of shadow someone, like let's say ushering. You might say, okay, I don't want to really usher, but tell you what, I'll sit back with somebody, particularly that I'll kind of pair up with who can kind of show me the ropes, and I'll just watch. Okay, if that's what makes you comfortable, just watching, then that's okay to do it. Social hour. You don't have to be the social hour. I know, Room of Joy. I've ruined it now. The Room of Joy host. You can just be. Maybe you can say, "Look, I don't really want to do it, but maybe I help someone, and we can hook you up, and you can kind of work with somebody else." Okay. So there's ways to work into it. Maybe you'll agree to do something just once. Again, you don't have to sign up for life. Just once. And see how you can ease your way into it? You control, and that's a good way to go about volunteering. You control the speed and the way in which you immerse yourself into that volunteer opportunity. Don't feel it's an all or nothing. So that's my advice number one. Okay, advice number two. I want you to remember, any volunteer opportunity you do is not a life sentence. Okay? Because that's another thing for you. Well, what if I get involved and I don't like it? I'm stuck. No, you're not. Okay? Remember that. It's not a life sentence. It's okay, even after you volunteer at some point, to say, I think I've done enough of this. Maybe it's because you decided it wasn't a good fit. Maybe you've just done it long enough. Maybe you see another volunteer opportunity. In fact, it's something I really think, if you're doing the same volunteer job in the same way 10 years after you started doing it, maybe you might actually be good for you to start looking for other opportunities. You might want to step down from something. Sometimes that gives other people an opportunity to experience it for themselves. Okay, so I want you to remember that. Not a life sentence. If the time comes, you say, I want to be done doing this, it's okay here at Unity. Advice number 3, you don't have to do it the way everybody else does. If you're doing something that other people do too, you have to tailor it to yourself. You bring your own unique skills and gifts to something. And 2 quick examples of that are, number 1, when I started looking at, I was going to be giving talks, all the men who gave talks wore suits and ties or nice sweaters, right? Because that's the way men are supposed to look when they give a talk. Okay? So, is that true? You be the judge. But I want to say that's important. And it's like downstairs. Do you have to put out the same food exactly the same way? It has to look the same as the other people do it? I think that's a particular area where we each bring our own gifts and skills. Do it our own way. I think a great example is, we've got Cara and Corey are doing social hour. They're the ones who put the spread out, so to speak, and they did it their way. Okay? That's a good example for us. Oh yeah, that's good. You're getting the idea there. So that's advice number 3. Do it your way. And the final advice I want to give you is volunteer opportunities don't have to already exist and somebody asks you to do them. Volunteer opportunities. So number 1, understand, sometimes you see something that needs to be done or you could do. Maybe it's just a gift you have and you say, well, I can do this for the church. Nobody's doing it for the church. Well, that's okay. That doesn't mean you can't do it. Okay? And another great example, I think, of this idea comes from Cara again. I'm sorry, you're really getting put on the spot today, but you can't. And she does the cannonball, I figures. But think about that. We sometimes think that when we have a program here at church, at Unity, that we think the way it works is, leadership gets together and decides what it is that we need here at Unity, and then they go out and get someone to do it. Well, a business might work that way. They have, the managers get together in a meeting and say they want to offer this project and service and say, we'll go hire someone. They allocate a budget and they go do it. That may be the way a business works, not the way a church works. And a good example of that is yoga, okay? We have yoga not because leadership says, we really have to have a yoga program. It happened because we had someone who I won't name, who said, I can teach yoga. Could I do it here at Unity? Okay? And that's why we have yoga. It didn't exist before. No one else said it. It's just, this is something I can do. And by the way, that's the yoga program. That'll be 6:30 this Friday downstairs. Come and join us. I know, there are ads in talks, yes. I'm doing the best I can to promote it. So that's the last takeaway. It doesn't have to exist. I want it to come from you, from what you want, what you feel. And so really, to sum up everything I've been telling you and to wrap this up, that I want you to realize this is what the fifth principle is all about. Taking a physical action, whatever you may call it, because you are driven to do it, not for any other reason. Just because you are the one just feeling like you want to take this direction. Volunteering in a way that the love, where you feel the love connection, okay? Because again, love exists in connections in many different ways. You want to connect in the way that you feel it, where it's connecting for you. And when you do that, realize this is what makes life such a rich experience. This is the opportunity. And so I really encourage you to take that, to apply the fifth principle. Find that way you want to use your life to reach out. Like Walter's raising his hand back there. Walter? You may. Perfect.
I consider myself a long-time learner. I never stopped learning. I took this job back here to do the video. All new electronic ideas and things that I could learn. So there's opportunities to learn. That's another reason to volunteer.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Walter. And just to let me summarize what he just said for the recording and for the others is that, Walter did serve, and Walter's probably the best example we have here at the church of what it's all about, because Walter did different things. He ushered, okay? He got the flute and drum circle going. He worked with the recording back in the early days when we were just starting to get those recordings going. He moved from thing to thing, but it was always to connect with people. And you never knew when you started it what was going to come out of it sometimes, but it didn't matter. And we can see the success of being able to just step out and do that. So thank you, Walter. That was just a wonderful experience and a wonderful testimonial. And, I'm done because you can't beat what Walter just said. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Rick. That was really great. I love how you started talking about volunteering here in our community, volunteering out in the community. But it isn't, that fifth principle is not just about those examples of volunteering. It's about your work life. Are you doing work where you are exemplifying those principles that you've learned? Are you working from the joy of it, from the opportunity to give, to meet people? That's the important part of that too. And I really appreciate that you tied that all together, because what we want for you is for this to be a place you feel comfortable, you feel welcome, and when you get involved, you feel like this place belongs to you. And many people will leave a church because they don't feel connected to it, yet they have not taken their gift and given it to get connected. If you want to volunteer, I'll do the commercial part. Totally unscripted, but it came to me while I was listening. We have facilitators for our most prominent volunteer teams, for our Room of Joy. No, it doesn't sound right. I'm sorry, I can't go there. You may call it whatever you want. Social hour, ushering AV team. We have facilitators for that. I'm not going to call them out right now, but they are listed in the newsletter every month. You can reach out to them if you want to learn more about all of the opportunities that you can serve on those teams. So thanks. Let's give Rick another round of applause. All right, well, it's time to sing together. You've been sitting a bit. Let's get up, move your body a little from our Melodies from the Heart songbook, song number 30. Holly, I'll do it.
We're changing key on this one. Let's do it. Love is the healing power. Love is the healing power. Love is the healing power. So give your love away. The more you give, the more you got. The more you give, the more you got. The more you give, the more you got. So give your love away. Love is the healing power. Love is the healing power. Love is the healing power. So give your love away. The more you give, the more you got. The more you give, the more you got. The more you give, the more you got. So give your love away. Love is the healing power. Love is the healing power. Love is the healing power. So give your love away. The more you give, the more you got. The more you give, the more you got. The more you give, the more you got. So give your love away. Love is the healing power. Love is the healing power. Love is the healing power. So give your love away. The more you give, the more you got. The more you give, the more you got. The more you give, the more you got. So give your love away again. So give your love away one more time. So give your love away. Nice. Yeah.
No situation is made worse by giving it more love, right? Well, now it's time to bless our offering and thank our Creator for the many blessings that we have been given and affirm our gratitude. So let's start by affirming the truth about ourselves. And this is how it goes. My name is, and you use your name, and I am prosperous always and in all ways. So let's say that together. My name is, and I am prosperous always and in all ways. Got off to a little bit of a slow start. Remember, always means forever and ever, and always as in all forms. So let's take our offering. You can hold it next to your heart, literally or figuratively. This is the opportunity for you to contemplate the prosperity that you have been given and the opportunity to share that into circulation into this world. Came to you, comes through you, comes into this community, goes out through us into the community, the circle of that prosperity. So let's bless it together. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I share, and all that I receive. Thank you, Mother, Father, God. Amen.
Finding stillness, I see the light. The world disappears from my sight. Kindness opens heart of the Lamb to reveal in love just who I am. Angels of peace, worries release, hands of God, angels of peace. Streaming porous, violet and blue, my spirit knows just what to do. Choosing a path once unknown, trusting in faith it will be shown. Angels of peace, worries release, hands of God, angels of peace. Love woven together in the garden's mist. I am the one and all in the breath of God's bliss. Angels of peace, worries release, hands of God, angels of peace.
Well, join me real quick in prayer here. And I want you to start rubbing your hands together and feel the warmth. There's that warmth from the meditation, that warmth of love. And as you feel it coming out, feel it filling your hands, put your hands forward towards that offering. Okay, feel that warmth. It's flowing out. It flows to that offering. That's not just what's in that offering, but all the warmth and all the love. And know that it doesn't stop there. Feel it flowing out to the world. From you to the world. Take a time and feel that flow. Isn't that wonderful? So we thank you all for everything you give, whether it be volunteer, whether it be money, whether it be your love. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you, Rick, and thank all of you for joining us. If you have a little time after you go downstairs for social hour, come on back up here. Our board members Holly and Candy will be doing our last of the 3 coffee chats with the board. If you'd like to get to know them a little bit before our annual membership meeting, you're welcome to come on back up. We're going to welcome our kids in, say our prayer of protection, and sing our peace song. How many people this morning, Pam? 41. All right. Work it out amongst yourselves. I'm just looking to see how many kids we have. I think you can do it. I have faith. We are nothing if not flexible. Yeah, I think you can do it. Maybe not. We might have to adapt. I don't think you can stretch. I think you might have to, let's pick this aisle. Watch where I'm pointing. Right here, friends. There you go. Yep.
Regroup, folks, and come down the inside. Join Steve there.
Steve is the anchor. Merrill, Steve is anchoring here. There you go. There you go. Woo! Everybody's shoulder sockets can relax a little. Yeah, Cara mentioned if your shoulder sockets hurt a little bit doing that, maybe you need some yoga on Friday night. All right, join together with our kids. Our prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.